Welcome to the latest edition of the LL Basketball Roundtable, brought to you by Student Transportation of America. My name is Mike Gross, and I'm hosting these proceedings. And to my left is Jason Guarente, who covers boys basketball for LNP, LancasterOnline.com. And to my right is Jeffrey Reinhardt, same deal for the girls. And we're on the verge of an annual deal where we go to the Giant Center and watch these big games. That starts. Today is Tuesday. That starts tomorrow. And let's go through Wednesday from the girls' standpoint first, Ryan. Go ahead.
Okay. 2:45 tip. I guess everybody gets out of school early.
What an electric atmosphere.
It should be. 2A final, Lancaster Country Day. They got through as the 3 seed. They beat Lancaster Mennonite in their semifinal. They play the defending champ Millersburg in the early game. I don't want to call Country Day a Cinderella. They're 500. They're 11-11. Tricky Section 4 schedule with Columbia and Pequea Valley and Mennonite, and Anvil had a good year. But they got through.
And we don't have any AA schools in our district. That's part of it.
Yes, it's only 4 teams get in. So win your semi and you go to the final. Sophia Sanchez, we must mention her. 67 threes this season, leads the LL. Just
solid.
Great sharpshooter.
Solid.
18 points a game. She's been great. Millersburg, as mentioned, defending champs. I know they had an injury, but they have 2 kids who score in double figures. Point guard Straight averages 12 and has almost 30 threes. Miller in the middle averages 16 rebounds a game. That's a crazy stat. So Millersburg's tough. We'll see how Country Day does playing in the arena and the depth perception and making shots. That's a tricky place to play. Later on Wednesday night, 6:15, AAA final, big one. Columbia Lancaster Catholic, hello. Rematch from last year. Catholic won that game 49-44 at the Giant Center. 20 district championships for Catholic, tied with Lebanon Catholic for most in District 3 history. If the Crusaders win, they'll get 21 and they'll stand alone. That's a huge number.
Wow. Lebanon Catholic ain't adding to theirs.
They are not adding to theirs, sadly. Great matchup. Catholic, LL League champ. Columbia, semifinalist, Section 4 champ. Plenty of star power. The Draghi twins will be there. Bolesky, Kraft, Stella Higgins, who's really come on. Just a fun matchup. So we'll have at least one LL champ. One of them's going to win and go to states.
And on the boys' side, Jason, tomorrow is really the big day for us.
Also 2 boys games. They'll go back and forth, girls, boys on Wednesday. The first one is Lancaster Mennonite in Class 2A, trying to defend its district title. Blazers are the 2 seed. They play Halifax, which is the number 1 seed. Halifax is 23-2.
Wow.
But they don't play the kind of schedule that Mennonite plays. One of their losses is Lancaster County Christian in the season opener. Halifax hasn't lost since December, 19 wins in a row.
Wow.
Even though Mennonite's the defending champ, it's really a name only. Only 1 starter back from that team. It's Chase Hurst. But there's a lot of tradition there, and that's what the repeating is about for them, is sort of proving that they can keep this thing going after, the Camden Hurst, the Weaver, that team is no longer there, so they'll try to go back-to-back. I think Mennonite's the favorite in this game. Just, you look at Mennonite's schedule, they play Chester, they play Unionville, play Columbia twice, they played Warwick, so their losses are high-quality losses. And then the nightcap is the Class 3A final, which is Columbia's boys against Trinity. Columbia's back for the 3rd time in 4 seasons. Trinity is the number 1 seed and presumably the favorite. They play in the Mid-Penn Capital. That's the division with Middletown, East Pennsboro, Bishop McDevitt, those teams. If you want to play the common opponents game, Trinity has played twice against Middletown. They split those 2 games. Each team won big on the other team's home floor. Middletown is the one Mid-Penn Capital team that Columbia did play in the Mid-Penn LL showcase, and Columbia won that game by 3 points or so. It was close. It was down to the wire. Trinity's big. I mean, their best player is Owen Schlager. He's a 6'3" guard. I mean, Columbia doesn't have anybody 6'3" on their roster. So they also have a 6'5" center. So Columbia is great at overcoming its lack of height, and that's mostly just through sheer effort, determination. They just fight like crazy for rebounds and loose balls. And that's how they've gotten this far. It's easier on Columbia's home floor than it will be at the Giant Center, that huge court, but Columbia will see if it's up for the challenge.
Interesting.
Thursday, Ryan. Is anything going on with Thursday?
No. Lebanon would have been the best chance there.
Yeah.
Cedar's the 1 seed in 6A, and they got knocked off by Dallastown in the game you saw.
Yeah.
Lebanon was winning that game late third.
Yeah, they were up 7 late third and really ran into the ditch offensively. They really struggled. And Dallastown threw a zone trap out of it. They really did not react to very well. I mean, it was really one that got away for Lebanon.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Not a good loss.
Cedars will play Wilson for third place on Wednesday. So no locals, no LLs, no CCAC girls will play in the Giant Center on Thursday.
On the other hand, we do have a big boys game on Thursday.
The last boys game is Class 1A involving a Lancaster County team. That's Linville Hill Christian going for a three-peat.
Yep.
The Warriors have won the previous 2 district championships. They're back as the number 1 seed. Again, it's much like Mennonite, completely different lineup. They only have one returning starter, who's Steven Smucker. It's a young team. They only have one senior even in their rotation, and that's a backup who doesn't play a whole lot. A lot of juniors and sophomores. I think Linville, this was the year they were going to be sort of questioned whether they're good enough, and next year they were supposed to be a powerhouse, but it looks like they're here now. They'll play Greenwood, which is the number 6 seed. Greenwood got through the bottom half of the bracket. That's where Lancaster Country Day was the best team, but Country Day didn't have Chris Dukes, its best player. So even though Greenwood was the 6th seed, it got a home game in the semifinals against High Point and was able to get back. And it's a rematch of last season's championship game that Linville Hill won comfortably. But again, different roster for Linville, but it looks like they're the favorites to win 3 in a row, and I mean, that's really an incredible achievement.
Yeah, no question. All right, now on Friday, we don't have many boys local, but we have girls.
There will be a local somewhere in the championship game. Girls 1A, 2:45 on Friday. Semifinals are set for Tuesday night. We'll see who survives. Number 1 seed Linville Hill, they just continue to wow me and probably their fans. They get a rival. They get Veritas Academy Tuesday night in a semifinal. Lower bracket, it's Mount Calvary, the back-to-back reigning champ in this bracket. They play Greenwood, which is kind of the best of the non-CCACs in this bracket. Greenwood's through again. I was doing a little research just to kind of see like how many district finals some of these teams have been to. Greenwood girls, hey, God bless you for getting there. They've been to 10 championships, Greenwood girls. They're 0-10 in those championship games. So Greenwood's kind of due not only to get there, but to win one of these, they got to get past Mount Calvary first. So Linville Hill.
Greenwood is like the one public school in Class A.
That's about it. There are not many.
They have been in a zillion boys and girls, zillion district finals.
Yeah.
You wonder how many times Greenwood ran into Lebanon Catholic in all those 1A
Probably
championships.
quite a few. So Linville Hill, Veritas, Mount Calvary, Greenwood, those winners will play Friday. Linville Hill, Veritas, one of those is getting through, so we will have a local there Friday.
And Linville Hill girls were the 1 seed last year, and they didn't win this championship. So,
Correct. They lost to Mount Calvary.
So they got that motivation too.
And they're playing great. They've won 15 or 16 in a row. They only have 1 loss. They've been fabulous. We'll see if they can get past Veritas here and get back to the Giant Center.
All right, gang, there you have it. The next 3 days will be holed out at the big arena in Hershey. Become an annual tradition. It's a rite of passage.
It is.
Not really, but you know what I'm saying. So we'll be talking about next week. We'll be talking about the state playoffs.
Set up stage.
Districts will be done, and we'll be diving into that massive brackets, I should say. Anything else for the good of the order, gentlemen?
We just have a few teams still playing outside of in the constellations.
Yeah.
Cedar Crest needs one more win to make states.
Nice.
Manheim Central and Warwick have already qualified for states. Octorara needs one win to get to states. And in single A, Lancaster County Christian and La Academia have qualified.
And we have a couple of those.
Yeah, these playback brackets go on forever and ever. Lebanon, as mentioned, will play for third. Ephrata and Township are still alive. Blue Streaks girls will go to states. They'll play for fifth. Ephrata needs to beat York to make states. Manheim Central is still playing in the 5A bracket, never-ending bracket. They play Mechanicsburg. They got 2 more games. Barons did make states. Now they're playing for a seed. Northern Lebanon girls lost to Wyomissing in the 4A semis. Vikings will play for third. Pequea Valley girls finished third in the 3A bracket. They fell to York Catholic in that game, but PV will go to states. And in 1A, Lancaster County Christian is swimming around in that playback bracket. I think they made states. But they're playing for seeds. So like Jason said, there's still a ton of teams still alive down in the consolation rounds.
We've been talking about how good Linville Hill has been in Class A. They really could have lost the semifinal to La Academia. I covered that game, and that was really went right down to the wire. So La Academia could be formidable in that class. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's it, gang. I'm about to start coughing uncontrollably, so let's get this over with. This has been the LL Basketball Roundtable, and it's brought to you by Student Transportation of America, of course. Jason Guarente, Jeff Reinhardt, Mike Gross. We'll see you later.